It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Friday, the 18th of May. I'm Michael Groff. The weather remains seasonably warm and dry for the foreseeable future here across the Southwest as no major weather pattern changes are anticipated. Let's get out to talking about it then. As we look at the almanac from yesterday, 98 degrees the high in the valley after a morning low of 71, and that's not too far off of where we should be for this time of year. And outside right now at this unfathomably early hour of 4:35 a.m. I don't know who would be insane enough to be up at this hour. Probably someone like me that's been up all night. We start this day out at 73 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew points at 28, humidity 19%. The winds are light. The barometer is steady. Temperatures across south central Arizona this morning. It's kind of covered up there, but there's a 62 over there toward Apache Junction. Meanwhile, upper 60s in the cool spots around the rest of the metro, mid and upper 70s for us here in the urban core, the warm spots. Water vapor satellite view. We still have troughing here across the southwest. I know it doesn't seem like it because we're still kind of warm and dry, but believe it or not, that's actually keeping temperatures from getting much warmer than they have been. On the watch warning map, some red flag advisories east of the state across parts of New Mexico, West Texas, the Oklahoma Panhandle. Dense fog advisories in southwestern North Dakota this morning around Dickinson, and flash flood watches and a few flash flood warnings along the mid-Atlantic coast in the Virginias, Delaware, parts of Pennsylvania, Maryland. The rain really coming down there this morning. On the convective outlook, a slight risk of severe storms across parts of the western plains today to include places like Dodge City and Garden City, Kansas, up toward Kearney, Nebraska. So be aware of that. Storm chasers going to have an active afternoon there. Marginal risk for many of the adjacent states. Rainfall for the next 7 days here in Arizona. This is the big one. Absolutely nothing for us here in the valley. Basically nothing statewide. This dry weather pattern continues, and this is, of course, still very bad news. Looking at the latest drought monitor that's out this week, the exceptional drought category now encompasses over 10% of Arizona, with the extreme drought category in over 63% of the state. And the conditions remain pretty bad here. Just looking at some of the notes from Salt River Project, and they say this was the worst winter runoff on record in Arizona. And that's where we get most of our water from, is the runoff from the mountains here in the deserts. So the situation could become pretty precarious depending on how the monsoon plays out. We'll keep you updated on this. All right, let's see how our weather plays out over the next 10 days or so as we get out to the models and have a look. This is the GFS, the 06Z run valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And there's our upper trough here across the southwest today, and down below that at the surface, slightly cooler conditions today. I'd say highs somewhere around 90, maybe the low 90s. With mostly sunny skies, maybe just a few high clouds from time to time. It will be breezy with southwest winds 8 to 20 miles per hour, much like we had yesterday. Tonight, mostly clear skies, lows mainly in the 60s. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny again, low to mid-90s for the high. More or less the same thing on Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high temperatures, mid-90s. And for much of next week, the weather pattern just not going to change. We see an upper low developing and moving onto the Southern California coast early next week. Highs still in the mid-90s on Monday and Tuesday. That low shifts north of Arizona. Could there be an isolated shower at some point early next week that gets right along the Arizona-Utah border? Yes, but other than a few high clouds, we're going to stay dry. And highs, again, mid and upper 90s on Wednesday and Thursday. Here's a week from today. This is Friday the 25th, raging along the west coast, still troughing in heights right about where they should be here in Arizona. So that translates to high temperatures right around the century mark. Here's Saturday the 26th, and again, ridging here, high temperatures right around average, upper 90s to near 100. The only other interesting feature on the map is this tropical system going on down right around the Gulf Coast of Florida. We'll watch this. The GFS continues to paint a picture of some kind of tropical storm maybe developing out here. At this point, probably just going to be a big rain mass. I don't expect to see any significant tropical system. It's a little early in the season for that, but we'll keep you posted on how this plays out. And then here's the end of the forecast period. This is Sunday the 27th. And again, ridging here along the west coast, and we stay hot and dry. And in fact, if this verifies, I would expect high temperatures to start to climb a bit more, probably into the 102 to 105 range, and getting somewhere in the neighborhood of records, although still probably a few degrees shy of them as we go out here toward the end of the month. And we see that as we take a look at the GFS ensemble, the temperatures through the period. Highs staying around average for a while, and then as we get out toward the end of the month, look at that, 105, 106, maybe 107. as we head into the 1st of June. And that's just about going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video comes back here on Monday morning, and if you like our videos, be sure to subscribe so that whenever we post a brand new one, you'll get the notifications. Otherwise, be safe out there, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great weekend.